Illinois is frequently known as the land of wide shoulders, a realm of creativity, fertile fields, and an artistic center held by Chicago's famous horizon. It's a region of thriving urban areas, serene rural villages, and esteemed heritage. But beyond this picture of power and prospects hides a concealed truth that seldom gets noticed. Under the skyscrapers and the crowded avenues, countless individuals battle every evening, lacking a roof, waging a war that seldom hits the front pages. This is the unspoken aspect of Illinois, a narrative of existences in peril, and a framework strained beyond capacity. A surge no one saw coming, the new face of homelessness. According to the January 2024 point-in-time count, Illinois tallied about 25,787 individuals facing homelessness, over twice the prior year, and a startling 116% rise. A large portion of this uptick centers in Chicago and nearby suburbs, where riches and hardship collide along identical roads. Households, elders, former soldiers, and newcomers all belong to this expanding set, with over 13,800 noted as fresh migrants. A further alarming fact is that almost 60% of those lacking secure homes are Black, highlighting persistent disparities that require focus. Still, these stats reveal just a portion of the tale. Beneath every figure lie bigger dynamics in motion: climbing home prices, dwindling budget-friendly choices, regulatory changes, and societal pressures that tax neighborhoods. Illinois presently offers about 23,000 spots and residences for the homeless, yet need exceeds availability, stranding thousands roofless every evening. Funding cuts have additionally curtailed assets, overextending refugees and support initiatives.
It is growing unsurmountably. It's a housing crisis. It's not a homeless crisis. It is a housing crisis. They don't even have a program that helps you prevent becoming homeless. There's no subsidies for, like, let's say a senior and they're $300 short a month. There's no subsidies, no programs that help people out.
Such metrics offer an insight into the scale of the issue, yet not the complete view. What fuels such a swift escalation? In what ways do substance abuse, psychological well-being, and structural problems factor in? And who are the folks enduring it? In the parts to follow, we will peer past the figures to reveal the profound roots, the individuals fueling the emergency, and what these truths imply for Illinois and for the homeless in America. Shadows and poison: how fentanyl is stealing lives on Illinois streets. Homelessness seldom boils down to a single factor, yet addiction wields a mighty influence. Throughout the United States, drug misuse frequently serves as both a trigger and a consequence of homelessness. Illinois follows suit. Projections indicate that 30% to 40% of the state's homeless grapple with substance or liquor reliance. Of these drugs, fentanyl has grown especially lethal.
A head high, I would say. I mean, it affects your body, but fentanyl really just goes straight to your dopamines, the ones that like get you really high, and it hits you so much harder than dope. But I know a lot of people that do real dope too, and they've been on it for like umpteen years. But really, fentanyl is just 10 times stronger. Like, people that do dope can't do fentanyl because they'll die.
Yo, boss, yo.
Strong, inexpensive, and readily accessible fentanyl has ignited an emergency inside an emergency. The roadways of Chicago and nearby districts are witnessing climbing overdoses, with numerous casualties drawn from folks already teetering on the brink. In what manner does addiction contribute to homelessness? A reliable position can vanish once drug misuse grips. Kin connections can unravel and health troubles can escalate. After a person hits the pavement, the severe circumstances chill, tension, peril, heighten the draw of fleeing via substances even more. Thus, fentanyl, alongside additional opioids, not only emerge as triggers, they moreover flourish amid the setting homelessness generates. The outcome forms a brutal loop. To support staff, this blend ranks among the toughest to shatter. In what way do you assist a person in securing shelter while they combat a dependency that might end their existence any moment? In Illinois, this obstacle is intensified by shortages in psychological care and recovery offerings. Though initiatives are present, they frequently operate at full strength or insist on abstinence prior to admission, excluding plenty beyond the threshold. Moreover, it's crucial to observe drug misuse shows no bias. Individuals fighting fentanyl dependency hail from varied origins. Some once held suburban residences, others exited guardianship systems, some served as troops, and numerous carry unaddressed wounds. What binds them is susceptibility. Among seasoned audiences, particularly those versed in the nation's evolutions across years, this could prompt yet another inquiry. Why, following extensive advances in healthcare and welfare systems, do we persist in forfeiting souls to the sidewalks? The truth lies in that regulations and societal views fail to match the intricacy of current dependency turmoil. Fentanyl, due to its potency, renders each error more hazardous. Plus, absent secure shelter recovery proves even tougher to maintain. Why it's happening, the forces driving people to the streets. When we discuss homelessness, the dialogue frequently starts and finishes with figures. Yet each data point conceals a narrative, and in Illinois, those narratives prove as diverse as the state's terrain. Imagine a fellow like James, formerly a distinguished Army serviceman from Decatur. His duty proved commendable, yet following wounds and decades of persistent agony, his entitlements failed to match his requirements. The forms dragged on the invoices persisted in arriving, and the funds ultimately depleted. Evenings in a refuge turned into his fresh routine. Next comes Maria, a resolute solo parent in Chicago's South Side. She held down dual positions to sustain her trio of kids. Yet once her property owner hiked the lease, her earnings proved insufficient to cover the gap. These days, she passes nights in a parish cellar, her offspring tackling assignments beneath faint bulbs as she browses employment postings, yearning for steadiness. Such examples represent merely a pair of existences amid countless. Illinois' homeless population, moreover, encompasses pensioners, devastated by healthcare bills, adolescents who exited guardianship without a destination, youths shunned by their households due to their orientation, and newcomers entering full of optimism merely to encounter extended queues and packed refuges. In Chicago, an influx of freshly landed migrants has introduced intricacy. Certain households tote all their possessions in a knapsack, anticipating a mechanism that progresses excessively leisurely to fulfill pressing demands. Linguistic hurdles, societal variances, and supply shortages generate friction, particularly between established dwellers, numerous of whom are Black and have endured hardship for years, who at times sense overlooked while focus turns toward arrivals. Still under these variances lie shared strands. Wounds, economic unsteadiness, wellness battles, and the perpetual veil of disgrace span across each account. Such individuals represent no outsiders on remote avenues. They belong to identical communities, traversing the identical walkways, holding identical aspirations for security and inclusion. What might alter should we view them not as data or loads, but as locals requiring aid? To proponents, such a change in perspective proves vital. Homelessness in Illinois, like homeless in America everywhere, is a profoundly personal issue. Each regulatory discussion, each funding/each overlooked chance resounds within the existence of folks like James and Maria, indicators that beyond each figure lies a household, a companion, an identity. A safety net with too many holes. Grasping why numerous folks wind up lacking a roof involves peering past personal decisions to the broader frameworks designed to safeguard them. Illinois, similar to vast portions of the nation, possesses support networks that prove overly strained. Residence expenses have risen consistently as low-cost units have vanished. The interim safeguards rolled out amid the outbreak expulsion bans. Urgent lease assistance provided some respite. Yet upon their lapse, multitudes found themselves without any buffer. Households that had succeeded in remaining solvent abruptly confronted legal hearings and evictions. Even individuals holding steady employment frequently learned that their pay failed to offset escalating leases or food costs, driving them nearer to the brink. The state's evolving marketplace imposed extra burden. Factory positions that formerly delivered reliable pay have dwindled. Farming, a long-standing cornerstone, has automated and transformed. Replacing them arrived hospitality roles that compensate lower and offer slimmer perks. To numerous seasoned observers, such a shift feels recognizable. Reliability that formerly appeared solid can dissolve rapidly. Simultaneously, psychological wellness support has fallen behind. Years back, the shutdown of mental institutions stranded countless lacking proper therapy paths. Individuals wrestling with sorrow, dependency, or unhealed injuries frequently struggle to hold on to lodging when assistance remains limited. How numerous existences might have proven more balanced had therapy been reachable and reliable. Next exist profound undercurrents. Ethnic imbalances permeate Illinois' unhoused counts. African American locals, despite being fewer, appear hugely disproportionate, a remnant of past discriminatory lending and eras of neglect. Countryside zones frequently miss even essential supplies, stranding residents with no option, save a meal depot or a pal's sofa. Chicago contains most aid outlets, yet even their havens overcrowded swiftly. Homelessness involves more than an absent covering. It concerns what unfolds when each mechanism intended to support you collapses. Initiatives/budgets earnings plateau, psychological wellness, aid splinters, and bias endures. Thus, the inquiry turns inescapable. If Illinois, given its assets and legacy, fails to maintain the barrier, what implications arise for additional regions? How robust truly remains the support web that countless among us presume awaits upon our tumble? Turning the tide, real solutions that work. When support webs start to unravel, the outcomes cease being concealed. They stand visible for all to witness. Illinois, akin to numerous additional regions, has attempted to construct frameworks to prevent individuals from tumbling excessively deep, yet those frameworks remain brittle. During the recent couple of years, even the finest meaning efforts have faced delays from erratic financing and partisan conflicts. The Home Illinois program, intended as a foundation in the battle versus homelessness, encountered major fiscal reductions in 2025, vast sums of money removed, just as the demand soared to unprecedented levels. Lease support schemes linked to the judiciary, which previously aided in retaining households within their dwellings, got trimmed further while expulsion submissions surged. Plus, refugees previously overburdened presently discover themselves rejecting folks evening upon evening, not since they lack the desire to assist, but since there's merely no room remaining. Such is the consequence whenever requirement surpasses provision. For each cot supplied, there frequently exist multiple individuals queuing. For each subsidy awarded, there linger scores of applications ignored. Even the firmest statutes cannot occupy a vacant chamber. Illinois' Homeless Bill of Rights, for instance, represents an advanced measure that grants lawful safeguards to individuals lacking residencies. It guarantees that they cannot suffer refusal of entry to communal areas, jobs, or amenities merely due to their homelessness. Yet statutes, regardless of how skillfully composed, fail to generate refuge cots or psychological wellness facilities. They cannot substitute the coziness of a secure chamber or the reliability of a lasting location. Within these voids, charitable entities, religious outfits, and local associations have turned into vital supports. They run meal depots, erect interim lodgings, and provide contact on minimal funds. Helpers travel distances to distribute coverings or manage village refugees. Yet, in countryside zones, such assets prove sparse at times, barely exceeding a temple cellar or a cluster of committed locals striving to address an immense requirement. In urban centers, requirements can seem boundless, with contact crews depleting stocks well prior to the queues exhausting participants. The core of the matter lies not in an absence of empathy, it resides in an absence of provision. The query for Illinois, and for everybody observing, proves straightforward, yet pressing: can positive motives endure whenever assets dwindle and the emergency persists expanding? Lacking substantial funding and unified action, even the sturdiest support webs will keep ripping a single fiber per instance. Your move, what will we do about it? Even amid a catastrophe that seems insurmountable, Illinois provides grounds for tempered hope. Specialists nationwide concur that the initial move to shatter the loop of homelessness proves straightforward in theory, yet tough in practice, providing folks a secure spot to reside. The Housing First approach is paving the path, altering the outdated tale that demanded persons to conquer dependency or obtain work prior to receiving a cot. Rather, it acknowledges that steadiness arrives initially. In Illinois, trial endeavors have demonstrated what's achievable. Empty lodges have been repurposed as short-term flats, idle corporate structures remade into dwellings, and overlooked parcels reshaped into miniature dwelling settlements. Such ventures are demonstrating that once individuals receive refuge, they might commence reconstructing the remainder of their existences, securing positions, pursuing therapy, and reestablishing bonds with kin. Yet Housing First forms merely one segment of the enigma. Policy alteration must ensue. Illinois requires land use adjustments to render constructing low-cost and multi-unit dwellings simpler. It ought to broaden lease aid schemes that assist renters remain within their abodes even whenever an unforeseen charge endangers displacing them. Funding for enduring assisted lodgings, which combines refuge alongside societal aids, might deliver sustained remedies for individuals requiring the greatest assistance. Equally vital involves tackling the psychological wellness and dependency emergencies directly. Such entails financing additional recovery costs, enhancing entry to guidance, and merging offerings, ensuring nobody slips through the cracks. Schooling, career preparation, and child-rearing aid hold comparable significance, aiding avert homelessness prior to its onset by furnishing households the instruments to remain solvent. Locality-led remedies, moreover, fulfill a crucial function. From temple collectives arranging visit hubs to district aides erecting petite dwelling groupings, regional undertakings recall that minor advances can generate tangible transformation. Countryside villages are trialing communal lodging initiatives, whereas urban areas are piloting alliances alongside corporate builders to utilize dormant assets. Every one of these instances, although varying in magnitude, contributes to a broader campaign encountering folks wherever they stand and extending them a route ahead. Resolving homelessness in Illinois shall demand dedication across each tier, governmental figures prepared to fund charitable groups set to pioneer and localities resolved to nurture. As we ponder homeless in America, Illinois functions as both a caution and a motivator, illustrating that although the obstacle looms vast, the remedies lie attainable, should the resolve prove sufficient. The choice before us, compassion or consequence. Where do we head next? That is the query Illinois compels us to confront. And it's not a query limited to legislators or proponents. It's for everybody. The matter's not if homelessness belongs to another's burden. It's if we hold that possessing a secure spot to dwell counts as a fundamental entitlement or simply a luxury. Should we select the first option, then steps must ensue. Backing neighborhood refugees, contributing to meal and lodging efforts, offering hours to contact groups, or simply employing your words to advocate for regulatory shifts represent methods each of us might chip away at this emergency. Modest gestures of kindness, expanded throughout a locality, might retain a household. In a dwelling, furnish a cot for a former soldier, or shield an adolescent from an evening on the pavement. To officials, the risks loom even greater. Each buck denied to lodging initiatives now shall expense considerably extra later within urgent aids, community security, and forfeited individual promise. The shelters beneath overpasses, the folks queuing at havens, prove no unseen. They serve as breathing indicators of decisions postponed, focused, misdirected. Illinois, a region boasting a varied marketplace and ample assets, has nonetheless watched homelessness expand at a startling pace. Should this occur locally, what signals does that send to areas possessing slimmer instruments and frailer support webs? The term homeless in America proves no figure or catchy phrase. It forms the actuality of myriad existences developing in open sight. Its parents, ex-servicemen, youths, and seniors, whose accounts might have varied had responded, arrived earlier. The query presently proves basic: shall we linger till the catastrophe intensifies? Or shall we conclude that the price of inaction towers is too steep to bear? Conclusion. Homelessness in Illinois mirrors more than a regional issue, yet a nationwide one, a reflection displaying voids in lodging, substance recovery regulations, and empathy. Such a phenomenon recalls for us the delicacy of safety and the simplicity with which the support structures we rely on might unravel. However, it likewise uncovers endurance, a caregiver mending injuries in a packed refuge, a former soldier regaining his balance once more, an immigrant household welcomed by a fresh neighborhood. The figures prove harsh, yet they remain alterable. The true inquiry concerns if we possess the bravery to respond. Should we, Illinois, might shift from caution to model, and the homeless in America could one day recount our history, not our now.